Hello, welcome to Notary Social's YouTube channel, where we talk about all things Ron and being an online notary. Today, I want to show you a step that just might save you a lot of time and keep you out of notary jail. So stay to the end. In this video, I'm going to show you the checklist template that I use for making sure that my notarial statement has been filled out properly and that I haven't missed anything while I'm doing an online notarization. So, if you don't want to miss any updates and new videos, go ahead and like this video right now, and in that way you'll be notified of future videos. If you don't, then the YouTube algorithm may not notify you when another video has been created, and I want you to be the first to know. So a little background here. I'm a remote online notary in the state of Texas. We have many guidelines that we have to follow when notarizing an online document. If we miss one of those steps, then the notarial statement may not be usable for our client, and that could affect the client greatly. So for instance, if someone is trying to do an online notarization and they need it for a particular day because they're starting a new job, you want to make sure that you have filled that out right, because if it's not notarized correctly, then they may not be able to start. So, in addition to that, you could be reprimanded by the Secretary of State as well, and we don't want that. So, you want to complete everything in a professional manner and efficiently so that your client will want to use your services again, and they will tell everyone what a great experience they had with your online notary service. So today, I want to go over what I do to make sure that I have all of the elements for an online notarization before I complete and close the transaction with a client. So, this checklist is for me to confirm that during the session, I have performed everything I needed to do to make it a valid notarization. I have other checklists that I use. For instance, I have checklists in preparation for sessions, checklists for responding to clients. I have a checklist when I'm responding to emails to make sure that I don't have to go back and recreate the wheel. It's all there. I have a checklist so that when I receive a phone call, boom, 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 I've asked them all the right questions and I'm not forgetting anything. Now, I can share some of those in other videos if you just comment below. So here we go. After you get online with your client and you've gone through the necessary steps, you've confirmed the ID, you've confirmed that they've done knowledge-based authentication and credential analysis, and you've started your session. And you want to make sure that your script is open and make sure that you cover all of those necessary statements and questions required for your state. Now, I always have my script in a window so that I don't miss anything. I do have dual monitors, and that really helps me a lot. It gives me a lot of space. So, my tip for the day is that I use a program called Trello, that's Trello, to create checklists and templates for everything. In this video, I'm going to show you the checklist template that I use for making sure that my notarial statement has been filled out properly and that I haven't missed anything with the online notarization. So let's get started. First, I go to my Trello account and I open my notary board where I keep all things Ron and notary. So then I open the checklist for online notarization certificate to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Now here it is. You can see that I have created a template so that I don't have to recreate it every time. I then click on the top right hand side to create a card from the template. Now you can rename it for your notarization, or you can name it your client. Then you're going to click Create Card. That will create a new card for you and just for this client. That way, as you're going along with your notarization, you can check each box and make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. For instance, you can see here that I have a reminder for an acknowledgement. Now, when I'm doing an acknowledgement online as a Texas notary, I must use this verbiage in my certificate It must be present, and that is that the instrument was acknowledged before me through means of an interactive two-way audio-video communication. I also have a checkbox so that if it is a jurat, to remind myself that I must put in quotes, "This notarial act was an online notarization." Now for the acknowledgement, I need to have both of those statements, the first one and second one I mentioned. So there's different rules for different certificates. Now I have a checkbox for the venue, state, and county. You want to always make sure that you have that in there. You just check it off. My notary name is written out exactly, and I place that under the signature line. There's the checkbox for that. I also have the wording, Notary Public for the state of Texas. Check that box. I have a checkbox to confirm that the client has signed. I don't want to miss that step. Now, depending upon your platform, you have to confirm whether the notarial statement is a jurat or acknowledgement. For instance, in One Notary, there's a little box on the right-hand side, and it's defaulted to acknowledgement. If you're doing a jurat and you don't go in there and change that to jurat, once you complete the notarization, you can't go back and change it. So that's easy to overlook. So I have that checkbox on there to make sure. The next thing I have is, did you perform the oath? If your client has a jurat, you can notarize and put the digital certificate on there, but if you do not complete an online oath, and I usually just tell them, can you please raise your right hand where I can see it? And you can either swear or affirm. Swearing is to God. Affirmation is on your honor. And I say, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the information contained in these documents are true to the best of your knowledge and belief? And if they say yes, and then I say, do you swear or affirm? And they let me know. So then I have a checklist for, did you place your digital certificate? Some platforms will remind you, some will not. That's why I have this checkbox. Now, as I'm going along, I'm checking each box, and this makes it clear that I have done everything that I was supposed to do. This is important because if you notarize a lot of documents, you might not remember if you did everything for each client. This keeps me on track and in compliance with requirements of the Texas Secretary of State's rules for online notarizations. Now, please remember to refer to your Secretary of State's requirements to be compliant with an online notarization because every state is different. I'm not an attorney, and I cannot advise you on filling out any documents or notarial statements. This is just a general outline of what I do. So I use checklists for all phases in preparation for my notary sessions. I use checklists whether they're online, in person, and even depending upon what type of document. If it's a real estate document, if it's a power of attorney, I have certain checklists for them. If you have a client and you want to make sure, you want to make extra sure that you impress them and don't miss anything, this is a good way to go. Now, y'all, I hope that this video has helped you on your online notary journey. And if you have any questions, please comment below. If you have no questions, but this video has helped you or given you ideas, can you please comment to help others? And you could also let us know, do you have another system for keeping track of each step as you are doing an online notarization? If so, comment below. Now remember, please go and like the video so that you will be notified of future videos. If you don't, you know what's going to happen. The YouTube algorithm may not notify you when another video has been created. I want you to be the first to know. So, I want to thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Notary Socials channel. And this is Margie with Notary Socials, signing out until next time.